you so very much for tuning in today. Happy Friday, everybody. I am so excited because I have Mr. Slim Khezri. Guys, he is here for all the way from, actually, all the way from Lübeck, Germany, and now out
Lübeck.
in Los Angeles, California. Slim, thank you for joining me today. We had to get some audio connected together, guys. That's why we're maybe, 12, 13 minutes a little off here. But happy Friday, everybody. Slim, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And tell us all about Slim and tell us all about Lübeck, Germany.
Well,
Let's get some
first off,
backtrack.
it's a pleasure having me. I mean, I know we've been trying to get this going and to get together, but better late than never. But here we are.
Yes, we
And
are.
well, we're to begin. Lübeck. My origin, my family is from North Africa, from Tunisia.
Okay.
And my parents, my father immigrated in the late 60s to Switzerland. And then a couple of years later, in the early 70s, moved to Germany. And he married my mother. And that's where I happened.
Okay. Slim.
They're both from North Africa, though. Like, he went back
They're
home,
both.
and then they
Okay.
got married and came back with her.
Okay.
And I was born and raised in Germany.
And while you
And
were
it's,
in
yeah,
Germany, did you have any? I know you were an actor and a songwriter. So when you were a little boy growing up, did you have any dreams of doing this? You knew what you wanted to do?
Yeah, there was a lot of music in the family. And growing up, I also lived for about 6 years, from 10 to 16, in Tunisia, North Africa. My parents sent me there for educational purposes. There was always music. So traditional music, African music, Arabic music, and it was always music. In Germany, the music of the 70s, that was my time growing up, you know. And then in Tunisia, there was the African music, and my uncles listened also to Motown and Stevie Wonder and the Temptations, and there was the kind of, you know, I knew that I wanted to go into music early on.
Okay.
And by 1980, 81, when MTV showed up and the first music videos popped, that was what I wanted to do. And I come from music. I actually started as a singer and a performer before I drifted or changed lanes into acting.
Okay.
You know?
And how long have you been in the United States?
I've been in the United States since 1998, although I have been invited in 1995. That was the first time I came because I had a performance. I had a gig in Las Vegas and also in Phoenix, in Arizona, and I enjoyed it. I got to say, by that time, I was already performing in Europe. I started out doing shows in 1989, and I toured Europe, and I did radio, and I did television, and you did all that kind of stuff. And America was always, you know, as a European, you always fancy to come to the United States and do shows. And when I came in 95, I immediately fell in love with the country and with the culture. And so, I mean, you got to be part of this. And then it took me 3 years to find a way, find a reason to move out here to Los Angeles and start out. So yeah, basically, and I came here actually to further my music career.
Oh, your music career.
Yes, because
Oh,
like I said, I came from music,
right.
and no, although I'm a film buff and I'm a film collector, and I never thought I'd be in them. So when I came in 98, 99, and I was invited to different events and going and meeting people, the first producers, the first photographers, the first directors, you know, do you act? Ask me, you know, or they ask me, do you model? Sure. I mean, you never turn down work.
Right.
Okay. And next thing you know, I was an extra on the film Little Nicky with Adam Sandler back in
Okay.
2000. And that's it. Like, it started
So from
snowballing from
extra
there.
work, you got pulled in up to a higher degree, huh?
Yeah, and then acting pretty much took over for an amount of time because it was demanding and it was time consuming, and at the same time, I was cultivating my private life. I got married, had a baby, so I was trying to do both of it at the same time. And then when it took me almost 8 years until I got back to music, by around
Okay.
2006, 2007, that's when I was like, okay, I gotta release something. I gotta do something. And some event managers start asking me if I would like to perform here or perform there, and that's how I started try to navigate through both. And that's the
Okay.
thing I like about the United States, about specifically Los Angeles, is that you can do many different things. In Europe, they tend you to put you in one drawer, in one
Oh,
folder. Either you're a singer, either you're an actor. That's one of the
you
things
can't wear a
why,
lot of hats.
yeah. So here, sure, you could do this month, you record a single or whatever and then perform with it. And the next month you do a theater play, or the other month you do a film or TV. And I love that because I'm a very creative person. And that's what I always wanted to do. So this was really like the place to be.
Right. Okay, so is there an actor here in the United States that inspired you or influenced you to want to further your career in acting?
Is there an actor here in the United
Yeah.
States that
Yeah. Do you
inspired
have
me?
a favorite actor?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I was little, that I was a film buff through my father, who watched a lot of the old movies.
Okay.
In Europe, growing up in Germany, it's Hollywood dominated already. I mean, Hollywood dominates the whole world. So I grew up basically with silent film and film noir and the golden age, and all the actors. And my ultimate two favorite actors on top, and there's the rest of them, is Lon Chaney,
Okay.
the father, not the son, the father of the silent film, the Phantom of the Opera, and
Oh,
that guy, and Charlie Chaplin. I
oh,
love
yeah.
everything about Charlie Chaplin,
Everybody loves
all of his
him.
movies. And then you have, of course, Orson Welles, Marlon Brando, Pacino, and then you go down the line, Sean Connery. Those are like all of my inspirations and influence when it comes to film. Now in music, that's a whole different ball game.
Okay. All right. Slim, as an actor, how would you describe yourself? Character actor? What do you love to do the most? How would you describe yourself?
Um, I love I love to be authentic as possible. I try to be authentic as possible. One of the things that Chaplin always used to say is don't act, just be. And that's the one thing, when I look back at some of my favorite actors. Yes, even in silent film, there are so many actors, especially in silent film. You have to value that because they had to act with everything. They couldn't speak.
Right.
Yeah, they spoke, but there was no sound. So the expression in their faces and the way they behaved, the way they moved, the way they, was much more powerful than now with words. A lot of people, when the sound came in, the talkies, didn't like it. Among them, Chaplin, because they thought, you took something out of acting. You killed a portion of it because now you just speak,
Yeah.
you know. But then it took like what 10, 15 years in, like into late 30s, mid 40s, and then you had somebody like Marlon Brando who changed the game because then there was a different way of acting, like just being you. Because the camera can pretty much catch when you're acting, when you're faking it. That's
Mhm.
why the greatest actors, when you look at them, you don't see like, for example, if you watch Leo DiCaprio, is somebody I really value, is one of the greatest of contemporaries. And you don't see him. There are some certain actors, this is what I value, what I like, is when you watch on the screen an actor and you don't see the name, that guy, you see the character.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always valued. You lose yourself in the film, in the story, in the character, and that's when like that's a good actor. And I try to be authentic as possible as I can. Oh, other actor that I really like, I don't know many people would know him here. He's from Germany, Klaus Kinski. He had passed, and he goes back to the 60s into the 70s. Egocentric, very crazy. So
right.
there's always mixed, because he really gets into he's insane, let's say that. But when you have him on the screen, his presence and his eyes and his face, that's why they keep hiring him.
Okay, um when you've landed that role, and how do you
What role?
any role, when once you've landed a role, how do you get yourself, what are some of the research, what are some of the first things you do once you have auditioned for a role and you've gotten it? What are some of the first things you do as far as research?
It depends on what type of character it is. Um, when I read the script from page one to the last page, like
Uh-huh.
through, and I try to understand the character, where he comes from. Of course, I always go back to the writer. I
Mhm.
always go back to the director, what he wants, what she wants to achieve with this.
Okay.
And then what what imagination or what vision do they have with this character? And I try to get into the psychology, into the mind of the character, even if he is on paper. It's different if it's like a real life historical figure, or somebody of real, that's, well, you have footage, you have Wikipedia, you have online, that's, but I try to understand the character first. What is the motive? Why is he doing this or acting this way? The people surrounded by. And then, of course, this is something, I mean, each actor to their own. Yes, I did take acting lessons and acting classes and acting workshops, and I went to all this. I say it's just half of it. The rest of it is how rich your life is, your life experience. And sometimes it is really true. A troubled person, or a person with many tragedies, or with a lot of experience, has more depth than the one who just read it on paper or got taught
Yeah.
that class, or this is how you should feel. This is how you. Now I know how I felt, when my grandmother died and I was there, when my mom died, or, a breakup, or when I got fired. So there's like these little, or when you lost this or that, or so there's when you experience pain, anger, then like when you read on paper that character,
Yeah.
then you can relate.
Yeah. You can reach back into your long-term memory and bring that stuff
Yes,
back. Yeah.
yes, without overdoing it, without exaggerating. And again, you're not supposed to act, just be. And that's why we always go back to the greats in film, that their feelings, Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, or their feelings are very raw. You see that on the screen. Denzel Washington, that's another one. In his eyes, in
Yeah.
his face, you see it when they go through the motion, the emotions, and I just love that, when you really can go and, you know, how to love, how to feel pain, how to
Yes.
feel
Yes.
anger, you understand,
And you
instead
can
of
bring that
somebody.
character to life, right?
Yes, that is the point. That is the
Yeah.
point. You know.
Okay, Slim, when you the role in Washington's armor,
Oh,
how did you feel um turning into an Indian? What was that
into
like?
into
Turning into an Indian. Remember Washington's armor, the role
yes,
that you're playing there. And you're playing, what is it, Half King?
yes, the Half King.
Okay. First of all, being playing an Indian role, what did
Yes.
you have to do to prepare for that?
Well, I gotta give a shout out to Ronnie Hummel, who was the casting director for this. We were friends on Facebook, on social media for a long time,
Uh-huh.
and she's based in Texas, and I'm in LA. and we never really like got to work together. And came out of the blue that she messaged me over a year ago, and she said, "We're looking for. Do you speak French, right?" And I speak multiple languages. Among them was French, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, we're looking for you're the, a Native American who speaks French."
Wow. Okay.
Like, I never heard of that before.
Right?
Like, a Native American who speaks French. Okay.
Did the
So
Indian
send in a
speak
tape.
French? What?
I'm sorry.
I mean, did Half King speak any French during the film?
Me?
The Half King, the role, the
Yes,
character
yes,
Half
yes.
King.
He yeah, I had lines. He spoke French. They wanted a Native American who speaks French. So so I sent in a tape, and yeah, I got the role. And then of course the task, and this is to answer your question, it's a historic figure. This is a real life figure that really existed, and he is a very important, big figure in history. What do you know? His name is Tanarixon. I'm butchering his name, but he was called the Half King, and he was on the side of the French Canadians.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the French comes
Ah,
in, and in the beginning. And the story takes place 20 years before the Revolutionary War, and it tells the story of a young George Washington. This was his very first mission.
okay.
So he was an unknown soldier who was given the task to go speak to the Canadians because they were in some territories that were in American territories. So, and the Canadians have, well, like all white men did at the time, betrayed the natives. So, and that's where how he switched sides and was aiding George Washington and the British because it was pre-revolution. This is all information I found online. So, and me
And
being
you
North
pulled it
African,
off.
me being North
And you
African,
pulled it off and you landed the role.
yeah, because I saw some carvings and busts, and there's drawings of him. He was bald with a pronounced nose, and he looked kind of like me. When they all looked at the pictures, I had never heard of him. And that's why, Ronnie Hummel and the director, Tammy Lane, they looked at it and they're like, this is the guy. And I had no relation. I had no idea. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's do this. So when I flew to Texas to shoot this thing, I arrived and they asked me, some people, they asked me, are you Native American? And I said, no, I'm North African. So might as well cancel me now. Because everybody was like, wait, you're from North Africa? Like, yeah. I have no clue about the Native American culture. No idea. I just only prepared for the role. And I tried really. I mean, of course, the man
Let me
lived
ask you
over
this.
200
Were
years.
there any Native Americans there? Were there any Indians there auditioning the same?
In
Woo,
the
I could
movie,
imagine what they felt like, right? Yes, I
yeah,
mean, there to
among
audition with
there
you.
was actually a real Native American, and which I actually quite bonded with, and he was great. And yeah, he he was like, this is great. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's theater, music, film, it's all about preparation. It really
Yeah,
matters. You go back and you have to prepare. Yes, sure. I mean, back in the day, when you look at the old films, you had white people or different ethnicities playing different ethnicities. Some of them were really good. You couldn't tell. And some of them were just, bad. And I think those who really slid through is because of preparation. You just prepare for the role. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, you're an actor. Sure, if you have a Native American or a black actor, an Asian actor, or Arab actor for the role, Cuban, whatever, and they're there and they're available and they're good, be my guest, sure. But for this one, it was just a chance for me. And I have, like, I've heard from a lot of casting directors and a lot of people, I have a certain ambiguous look. Sure, when I say my nationality is German,
You do.
people would be
I
like,
mean, you can pass for Arabic. You can pass for a light-skinned black. You you
yeah,
I mean, it's all there.
yeah,
Wow.
it's an ambiguous role. I mean, yeah, if I can, if you ask me to play a certain character, a certain role, I would look at it and see. I mean, I have actually did turn down certain roles. I'm like, this is not for me, either of ethnicity reasons or
Uh-huh.
what the character is. I'm like, I can't. It is very important as an artist to know your line, because I know a
Yeah.
lot of people, they just jump in, they don't care. I do.
Just do anything, right?
Yeah, I do. Either I can do this or I
Right,
can't, and it's
right.
very important to know, you know.
I
So yeah,
always heard
and it
Mr.
was an
Morgan,
incredible. Yes.
the actor Morgan Freeman, I've always
Oh,
heard him would say, he would say, he's not just going to take any role. He's not just going to do anything just because a director offered, give him an
yeah.
offer for a role or whatever. He's not just going to jump on anything. It has to be something that he is comfortable with and that he wants to do, you know?
I mean, look at his resume. Look at it. His
I'm
list of
serious.
films. Same thing with Denzel Washington. When you look at their list of films, yeah, they don't just pick whatever. And I understand it's a
Right.
kind of hard times, and you had, especially, I'm talking like now in recent, during
Yeah.
the pandemic, and there's a lot of actors, a lot of singers, a lot of artists, dancers, what have you. They've been shut out of work, and they've been, for over two
Yes,
years
yes.
confined at home.
Right.
Some
And
were
and
lucky; they
and
could
the
afford.
actors, a lot of them are turned into talk show hosts now. Like, gosh, when am I going to ever get my break if all you guys are turning from musicians or turning to talk show hosts now? Come on, I've been out here for almost 26 years. Give me a break. That's right, Hollywood, if you're out there looking tonight, give me a break. I mean, I know times are hard now and people are not making a lot of records. Maybe musicians are
Yeah,
not making a lot of records and um, actors are not being on the set now because of COVID. And now you're becoming a talk show host. Hello, hello, hello. The competition is out there, but hey, I'm game and I'm not giving up. I'm keeping it going because I know I am going to get my break soon. It's coming. It's
well, I
coming.
hope
It's
so. You're
coming.
really
I know
great
it's
at it.
coming.
I've seen all of your videos before, in preparation before today.
Yes.
It's like, who is BB White? Let me check. And I've seen, yeah, I mean, I liked it. That's why we're doing this. I think
Yeah,
talk show
Slim
host.
Sharon with BB has been around for a while. I've been around for a while. It's not like I just started yesterday. I've
Yeah,
been out here struggling, TV talk
yeah.
show host struggling on low volume television, um, HBO, Fox. Done it all, but still, I haven't gotten that break that I need,
Yeah,
and I am going to get my break. I am. I'm going to get my break.
you
And
will.
Slim, I'm just glad that you. I mean, I reached out to you. I saw you out there. Like this guy is really doing his thing, and you do
I never
opera,
had a plan B. This is how you tackle things. I know it's maybe
right? Right.
I don't have a plan B.
Okay. Let's get over to the category of opera. Now, how in the world do you get prepare yourself for an opera show? And I know you are in Ida. That's running
Aida.
right now. Congratulations. Congratulations for that. How do you get yourself ready? Opera is a lot of singing and dancing and all of that together, right?
Uh, Depending on the production, what type of
Uh-huh.
show it is. Some shows they have dancing and some don't. I have to say that I do not sing opera.
You don't? Okay,
I'm
okay.
a non-singing actor.
All right.
So there are some roles. It's not like you watch 3 hours of just singing. There's act. It's a play. An opera goes back hundreds of years, and it was basically it's a play, and
Okay.
instead of it's like an old version of musicals today. So back in the day, the dialogue is sung, and I have tremendous respect of it, and I've always looked for a variety to do in my creativity and in my. I just love arts, anything,
Me too.
everything that is creative. I'm
Right.
a very creative person, and it could be, painting, drawing, cooking, uh, anything, writing, acting, singing, dancing. I'm in. And I've been actually with the Los Angeles Opera, and I'm proud to say so, because I'm grateful for for the opportunity since 2006, 2007, on and off. And
Congratulations.
it's been, they always call me back. They always call me back for, this show, that show, that show over the years. And yeah, and this time, this season, thank God, we came back because there was a break because of the pandemic. Because the last show was we didn't even finish. We had, I think, one or two shows to go, and then the pandemic hit in March 2020, and then shut the whole thing off.
Right,
As
right.
you know, and on Broadway, same thing. Like the musicals that were shut, everything was cut off, and I couldn't believe it really that we really were coming back to a new season. And yeah, I've been back since August of last year, and this is the third show that I've been involved with. The first one was Il Trovatore, is a Giuseppe Verdi classic. And then In Our Daughter's Eyes, although I did more tech on that show, not on stage. And then Aida now, this time since April. And it's another one of the biggest classics, if not like top 5 or top 10 in history. And it takes place in ancient Egypt. And I'm one of the Egyptian officers, Egyptian soldiers on stage with, the main stars, the
All
real
right.
tenors.
But you're there. You're there
Morris
on
Williams.
stage.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, of course. And it's an incredible show. And although this production is they try, when you have a show that's been going on for like over 100 years or 150 years, you try how many times you're going to tell it the same way? So there are some directors, some productions who want to update it or refresh it. Of course, you cannot touch the classical music and the singing. That's the script is the script, but you can make the setting contemporary. So now they set it up in a more 60s, 70s Egypt. And that's why the way my look, I have a beret, and it's everything is more.
Yeah.
So we don't look like the pharaohs back then. The original version is like, yeah, you had the pharaoh, that's the king,
Uh-huh.
and you had all, the soldiers with the spears, with the whole thing, that the sphinxes in the back, and the pyramids. The original show was done in 1871, and it premiered on the Giza Plateau. Can you imagine to be there to see that one?
Wow.
So, but it's been a great show. It's been packed, each night, and it's been
So
great
that
fun.
every night. Gosh, that's great. So
Yeah.
how long your auditions and everything to do that? You're in a dance routine, right? You're doing
No,
what are you
in
doing?
this one, it has like really three separate groups. So there's the lineup of the main lead actors, the
Uh-huh.
king, Aida, the priest, the soldier. Those are like the main, and they sing. They
Okay.
sing opera. And then
All
you
right.
have the officers, the soldiers who interact with the king, with the priests. That's where I come to play. Those are like the non-singing actors. They come, go, do this, do that, interact with, but in a
All right.
non-singing way. And then you
Okay.
have a third. That's the group of the dancers, and it's a kind of like a ballet routine, and it's absolutely beautiful.
I can
And
imagine.
actually, add a fourth group, a group of children dancers. It's a big show. It's an epic show, and
And
it's
it's running until the 12th, is that correct?
yes, until the 12th at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in Los Angeles downtown. It's presented by LA Opera, And yeah, so last night we packed house.
Wow.
So it's been, because I think also what's interesting is the setting, because it's different. So people who are into opera or know opera, they think immediately, pyramids, Sphinx, Pharaoh. So when they come to see the show, they're surprised, pleasantly surprised. They're like, oh, okay. Because everybody is, going around in berets and hats, and we're all soldiers and officers, and, we all look like
Yeah.
soldiers. So it's different. But the story is incredible, and it's heartbreaking, and it's, I um, suggest for everybody, recommend to everybody to do some research on the story, Aida, by Giuseppe Verdi, the opera, because there's also the musical version, if you know, by Elton John, because they did a musical version
Yeah.
of it on
Yeah.
Broadway. So that's that. It's been fun. It's been a great time, and it's been
Will
busy
they take
time.
it on the road, or is just going to stay there in LA until it's
No,
finished?
this is just at the LA Opera,
Oh, just at the
and
LA
then we move
Opera.
on. We're
Okay.
gonna go on a summer break, and then we look forward to the next season.
Wow.
And for
Okay.
me, it's because from show to show it's different, and the contract is always from show to show, not for per season. So that gives me, yeah, the freedom, which I value a lot. I love freedom. So I can make my music, I can do my films or my videos or my web series, whatever. I can do, oh, an opera. When I get that, then I go do that, and I can jump left and right, and uh, life is good. So that's
Life
I
is
like
good.
doing that.
Exactly. Life is good. Slim, we got to talk about the disco. Burn the disco. We got to get back to your singing. You, like you said, you from a musical family. Your background is full of music. So let's talk about Burn the Disco.
Burn the Disco.
Hmm.
Burn the Disco. Burn the Disco is a very, very old song. I think that was the very first song I wrote, and the very first I recorded. Not as in the version that we have now on the market. It sounded differently back then. It was more house and techno-y, like early 90s. Yes, that's how old that song is.
Can
And
you want to
it
sing a bit for me?
I put it
Can,
away,
can you
and I've
sing a bit
recorded
of the
and worked.
version, the older version for me? No?
It's very similar. I just
Oh,
only
okay.
added some parts. The hook line is basically new. So come on now, let's burn the disco. That is actually it's new. But the original form would have been, let's come on now, let's move and dance, move your body tonight. There's the move your body tonight again.
All right.
So I changed it up in the newer version. And so yeah, it got released originally in 2008, 2009. I had or have a deal with Sony Music, and we go back and forth. They would release a song, and then they would remix it. A licensing deal with Sony. I have to clarify, and
Okay.
they would re-release it in different iteration and different remixes. And it's one of became, if I can dare to call it, a classic of mine on my list on my discography, and it keeps on always coming out in different countries, in different places. And we just thought, okay, so there's three versions of them, and the recent one, the one that it's now, that's like the original 2008, not the original from. Um, so yeah, so that's Burn the Disco.
Okay,
It keeps
tell me
burning,
this.
and
Where do you expect Burn the Disco to lead to? Are you going to take it to nightclubs? What are you going to do with it?
it's been out. It's been out and it's been played.
I know, but
It's
what I'm
funny when I
saying
get.
is, as far as Slim is concerned, are you going to go to the nightclubs and give live concerts?
I've been asked to do so, but at this point, we're all a little cautious because of
The corporate?
the pandemic. There are some
Yeah, I
open air
understand. Yeah, I
events,
understand.
open air events, outside festivals. And I'm not really interested in like concerts per se. But if you
Okay.
invite me to do a feature, you know, 2, 3 songs, painless, quick, and I'm out. If it's like these festivals with multiple artists,
I
I'm
understand.
interested in that. But like these indoors and clubs, I haven't been even like out, you know, going to clubs yet, or you know, attending events yet. I'm a little bit cautious of the situation right now.
I
I
understand.
think the pandemic is winding down,
Yeah, but it's still
but we're
out
not
there. It
completely.
is, COVID is still out there, you know. So we still,
At the LA Opera, everybody has to show their ID
really?
vaccine card. Everybody has to wear masks indoors
Oh, okay.
because you can't, you know, one artist or somebody, you know, that affects the whole thing.
Exactly. Could ruin the whole show.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Slim,
So
what is next?
there will
No,
be
you're
more
still
music,
in
by the
production,
way.
right? Excuse me?
There will be more music coming, I said,
Oh,
so
okay,
throughout the
cool.
year. So you haven't heard the last of it. And Burn the Disco is it's at this point like on its way out because it's been already a couple of weeks, and
Right.
it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's everywhere. I mean, you can hear it everywhere. If you have Spotify, you have iTunes, iHeartRadio, and all digital platforms,
Apple, I
Amazon,
seen it on Apple.
on Apple, yeah, iTunes, yeah, Apple Music,
Uh-huh.
and there will be more music,
Okay.
uh, new releases, re-releases, because music is music, and every time when there's takers, I'm not gonna say no. Here,
I can understand that. I can understand
you know.
that. So as of right now, you still are in production with Ida. And when do you go back again? When do
Oh,
you go
this
back
weekend.
this
This
weekend?
weekend. Yes.
Okay. So you had today off
Yes.
and you gave it to me. Thank you. Oh my God, I feel so honored.
I would have loved to have you come over if you were nearby. You know you're welcome. You have an invitation right here.
Oh my God. I am
I
gosh,
you would love it.
the
I know you would
12th
love
is
it.
I'm really thinking about catching a flight out there and see Ida. I'm serious.
You would love it.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. That might happen. You might see me out there, okay?
Well, hopefully this if you can't make it, there's another season with other more shows, and let me know.
Okay, I will. I will. Slim, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
My
I
pleasure.
appreciate you coming to hang out with me on your day off. Thank you
Of
so
course.
very much. And everybody out there, I hope you have enjoyed today's show and enjoyed my guest. You see, he is talented. He can fit in any category. We all see that right now. This man he's hot. We can see Slim.
Thank you.
You hot. You're hot. It is what it is, right? Okay, but anyway, Slim, thank you for hanging out with me. If I can't make it
Thank
out
you
to
for having me.
LA this weekend, I am definitely going to come out there for another season. I know you will have a lot of shows
I
going
hope
on.
so.
Let's stay in touch because I will make it. Trust me, I
We'll do it
will be
again
out
at some
there.
point.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Well, I want to say happy Friday to you. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe and rock that show until the 12th. Rock Ida. I know you're
Thank
gonna
you.
do good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, Slim. I'm gonna say goodbye. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye bye. Thank you so very much for tuning in with me. I want to say happy Friday to everybody out there. You guys have a wonderful weekend and a safe weekend. And I'll see you. I'm trying to get Slim, trying to remove Slim from the show. Okay, there he goes. Okay. Slim is busy because he got to get back to the opera. He's got to get back to Aida. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to sharing it with BB. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Los Angeles, California. You are my #1 supporter. I appreciate you, New York. New York, thank you so very much. You're #2. And Rocky Mount, North Carolina, thank you so much. You are #3. Thank you. Thank you for all of my top 10 supporters. And I just want to make sure I put those top 3 out there. Los Angeles, New York, and Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Thank you so very much. Again, I want to say happy Friday to you. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. Good night.